topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Tampa. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show where we bring you the top experts for the last 16 years. Can you believe it? 16 years. In 2 more months, it'll be 17 years we have been doing this. Hey, this is the last Monday of the month, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Hey, I would be lost if I didn't have this expert. She has become such a fixture on our show. We're so blessed to have her. Let me introduce you to our long-running attorney, Debbie Baker. Good morning, Debbie.
Long-running. I just got off the treadmill. I took a quick shower, and I am long-running.
And long-winded.
Oh, thank you for noticing. I really appreciate that. So 17 years, my gosh. Wow.
I know. Can you believe it? And we started off with radio, and gosh, it's so much easier now because I was on 22 radio stations around the country, and I had to have their local person host the show because we didn't have all the technology we have now. And I'm so glad I finally broke down. People would say, get away from radio. You got to go to podcasts. I went, no. But they did that with Yellow Pages too, Debbie. They said, you don't want to leave Yellow Pages and do a website. But
yeah, too funny.
As you can see, because I send you your show every month, we keep getting more and more viewers to your show. So tell people, we've got all these new people. Tell people about your law firm.
My law firm. Well, my law firm has a very, very original name. It's London Baker Law. Anyway, that was sarcastic to say the least. In any event, I've had the law firm. I graduated from law school almost 11 years ago. Went to law school as a walk of faith. I'm continually reminded that it was good. It's a really great walk. I get to be of service to people who sometimes are in dire need of a legal conversation, not necessarily help, but a conversation. Sometimes dire need of help, and also sometimes just smart enough to do it ahead. So I do estate planning, wills and trusts. I do probate, and I do elder law. Help people protect their assets from the government, from creditors. Just to get on government benefits if need be. And at least twice a week, well, maybe not, at least once a week, people will tell me that I'm a godsend, and that's a gift beyond measure. And,
yes.
And when I get the job done, there's nothing like it. For any of us who are working in fields where we get to be of service, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the service is. There's nothing like knowing you've done the best, and also having people acknowledge that you've really, done them a solid. You've really done them something that they wouldn't have been able to do on their own. So, so that's my practice.
I think I've shared this with you. I always, when I do my prayers in the morning, I said, let me just touch one person. And it's amazing where the Lord has led you. You were a life coach before this.
I was. And somebody said ABC, always be coaching. It's almost impossible to stop. It's almost impossible to not give unpaid consulting or unsolicited advice. But I was a life coach also always motivated by the idea that if I could make anybody's life just a little bit easier after a conversation, then that was just a joy. Somebody could walk away from a lunch or a seminar with an insight or an epiphany or just taking a deep breath. I couldn't have been happier. I had more than one person tell me over the years that I had to be psychic, or as I pronounce it, physic, because I was living in their living room and they were talking about something which I had no idea. So I have really, really good intuition. I have a great level of compassion. I am far from perfect about that. I really do everything I can to stand in the other person's shoes and see what it is that they need. Not what I think they need, but what they need, and then go from there.
You know, Debbie, I think what's so special about estate planning and what you do is you really can touch people's lives, and you can make such a huge difference. I mean, I see people, I read about people. Look at what's his name, Gene Hackman. You know that I guess you've seen where there's so much fighting going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's a guy who should have had every, T's crossed, I's dotted, and it turns out he didn't with all of his money, and now the kids are all fighting over it. And this could have all been taken care of, right?
It could have all been taken care of. The thing that's most interesting, not most, but is interesting to me, Steve, on a much smaller level, is than somebody with the wealth of Jim Hackman, is people don't know enough to get things done. We've talked before. People think their families will take care of everything once they pass, which they will. It won't be easy. It won't be fun. It delays the grieving process. It splits families. It disrupts families. And the only people who make money are the lawyers. And I mean, I guess that's great for the lawyers, but who do that. But it can be avoided. And it's a conversation worth having, no matter how uncomfortable you are having it. Estate planning is not that complex. It has parts, has wills and powers of attorney and healthcare directives, and maybe deeds to pass on a home. It doesn't have to be complex, and it doesn't have to be expensive. And every person listening has some kind of estate, whether it's $500 in a bank account or whatever, a car or an IRA or something like that. And I think we talked about beneficiaries last month. Florida has billions of dollars in unclaimed property because Gene Hackman's estate might have been in great order, except for some things that he got toward the end of his life, and he forgot to beneficiary designate it, or he forgot to put it in a trust, or somebody didn't tell him to. And then those things become available for all sorts of arguments and splitting amongst heirs. And with not good lawyering, but with having a relationship with an attorney who you call when something changes in your life, or who calls you every once in a while, every year or two, to see what's new, you run the risk of leaving your family in a position they didn't have to be left. So it's hard to emphasize it enough. And years ago, I did something, I think it was in church, where I thought that people should intercede, intervene, and interfere in other people's lives, like really get to know their parents' situations. And I've been reminded of it recently with a couple of situations where if you don't get in there and ask, you don't get past the cultural discomfort of asking your parents if they have enough money to live till the end of their days or whatever, you run the risk of inheriting a mess that could have been avoided if you just had the conversation. Not easy conversations. I mean, don't let anybody hear that I'm saying I've had these easily with my family. I have not. I have not. They're difficult conversations. They're vulnerable conversations. They're intimate conversations. It's like for me, it's like learning your parents had sex more than the number of times there were children in the family. Like, so
I don't think my parents ever had sex, Debbie.
Well, then you're immaculate for the second time in history. Okay. So, it's that kind of thing. You hear things maybe you don't want to hear. You never wanted to hear, or you just don't want to believe or whatever. And the conversations they're essential. They're really, really essential.
There's something else I want to add. After doing so many shows with you,
Mm-hmm.
and even our great producer, Rebel, will attest to this, you're so easy to talk to. And when you're talking about, it's not the easiest thing in the world to talk about passing on in your life. And you make it so easy. And I think that's like one of the most important things. And you really do care about people because you're not an old person, but for going to law school, you started off later in life.
Yeah. Well, thank you for all that. I have had many people tell me I'm psychic, which just cracks me up. But the caring, compassionate, yeah, I really do. And God really, it took me years of doing seminars to realize this. God gave me a gift to create a safe space. Like you said, it's easy to talk to me. It's easy to tell me things. People have told me things. I will always admit if somebody said you're nosy, I would never know say I'm not. It would be such a lie. Even with my fingers crossed, God would say, Deb, what are you? But I can hear what people say. And more than once, people have said it's so safe. It's so safe to talk to you. And it's not anything it would come across as calculated if somebody felt I was faking it. And it's a gift. And I so appreciate it because I'm always humbled when somebody said it was so easy to have this conversation. I had a guy call me last week who saw my website, and I said, well, what had you call me? He said, I loved your picture, and you said you were caring and compassionate, and it just looked like you are. And I went, okay. So yes, overall, I would say I'm pretty easy to talk to. Yeah, thank you.
It's funny. I always think about you. I'm saying, there's somebody out there who's going, I wish I would have done this.
Yeah.
And they never do.
Yeah.
And then they get to it. They have an excuse. Well, I'm too old to do that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Look at what you have accomplished. And I got to tell you, I remember this distinctly, the very first day we spoke on the phone. And you got to remember, an attorney makes their money, off their time and their knowledge. And the first thing you said to me was, I want to keep people from going into expensive probate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's how you make your money. And here you're saying, I want to keep people from going into probate.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely more money in probate than there is in, doing the estate planning. But, I've said more than once here that my goal would be that if a client of mine, when somebody dies, maybe they call me just for some reassurance that all is well and they don't have to do anything. They just need to be grieving. All they need to do is be grieving. This guy who called me last week, he called me from his brother's hospital room right after they removed all his life support. So I said, just all you have to do now is grieve. It sounds like you've got things in order, but you need to grieve. You can call me back, in a couple of months when you've gotten past the most horrific parts of this. But the goal would be that there's nothing to do immediately and maybe nothing to do for 60 to 90 days other than just embrace the fact that this person you loved, whether it was a parent or a sibling, worst as a child, that all you have to do is just take care of yourself. The legal stuff will all take care of itself eventually. There's no hurry for any of it. But I've told people recently that if an estate plan is done right, your will is just a catch-all for something you forgot to title or beneficiary designate, or you've got a malpractice lawsuit, or you've got a class action suit, or a personal injury suit. So you've got some kind of vehicle to collect a settlement. But even then, none of that has to be done right away. Just go take care of things. Just go take care of things.
Debbie, I got something else. I always am reminded with your show that some people will procrastinate. Probably a lot of people procrastinate when it comes to estate planning. And even people who are younger. But I got to tell you, because I really dip into the news every day. And just yesterday, a 52-year-old football player passed away. 52 years old. People look at, I don't think, what was his name that just passed away? He was up in age, 82, 83, but he was in really good health. People don't understand this is not something you should procrastinate on.
You thinking of Chuck Norris, who died at 86? Died at 86.
This guy built his whole life on health.
Yeah, well, Jack LaLanne died. Who thought Jack LaLanne would ever die, right? If there were many who may be listening who never heard of Jack LaLanne, but Jack LaLanne was on TV and back of comic books and back of magazines and like this. Anyway, whatever. He was ripped. I mean, he was amazing. Long before steroids. I mean, he was just with muscles. Well, we all don't think. I mean, we all have things we procrastinate about. I mean, all of us. We all have things we procrastinate about because they're not urgent enough, they're not important, or they're scary. I mean, they're scary. So, I've got stuff I procrastinate about because doing it is scary. And there's our show host putting up that miserable countdown. Okay. It's okay. It's okay to take it in that you're procrastinating. It's okay. And then step past it. It's when you're not able to get past it, or you listen to other people say there's no need or whatever, or it's expensive. We've talked about this more than, people don't do it because they think they have nothing, which is always untrue. They think that it's going to cost too much and they've never, ever priced it. They listen to their friends. So you have a friend who's got a very complex situation, multiple properties, lots of money, whatever, a disabled child, and they tell you it costs them whatever it costs them. But you have nothing like that, but you take them at their word that it's expensive and you don't even have a frame of reference. That makes me crazy. You think you'll die as soon as you do it. We've talked about that, Steve, and I've met a couple of people like that. And I had a client who died 10 hours after he did his planning, and there was no warning. It wasn't anticipated. 15 hours later, his wife's calling me and saying, Randy died. I went, what? They were leaving that morning on a 6-week trip around the country. I had spent an hour the day before getting documents signed in this gorgeous RV that they bought. And he died. Well, yeah, you might die as soon as you do it, but your family will be better off. And the last thing is people say, I'll let my family take care of it because they have no idea of the complexity. I mean, they don't even say it like tough luck. I hate my family.
Yes.
I've said it here. If you hate your family, don't do it. Perfect. It's very clear. But if you love your family, if they mean anything to you, if you've got grandchildren, you want to have something of yours financially when you die, you need to do the plan. You need to find somebody you can trust and who you can talk to and you can share. I've been putting this off for 5 years. It's okay. I can tell you 3 things I've been putting off for 5 years. We're all in the same boat about things. Just your family will so appreciate the peace of mind they will experience when you get it done. And it's bigger than just the documents. It's bigger about, I've been talking for 3 years, talking about procrastinating, and working for 3 months on something for my daughter. So she has all the information she needs if something happens to me. Not if I die. Who does she call to pay my credit card bills? Who does she, call to do this? Who does she call to do that? I do everything online. My husband couldn't do it in a quadrillion years because he can't even turn on the computer. But she'll be able to do it. So, like I say, and we're almost out of time, if you want to have a conversation, you just want to have a conversation, you can call anonymously. I mean, I don't really care. I'm only licensed in Florida. I'll talk to anybody who calls. I don't charge for my consultations. It's all a gift for me. I'm at 813-586-1332 in Tampa, 813-586-1332. I'm at Deb Baker at LondonBakerLaw.com is my website. You have to remember 2 B's in Deb Baker and the law at the end of London Baker Law, because people drop them off all the time for some strange reason. And the website is LondonBakerLaw.com. And like I said earlier, this guy called and wants to hire me because I look nice, and it says I'm caring, compassionate. So the free consultations are a joy for me to do, a joy, because I always learn something, and people walk away freer. And it doesn't matter if they work with me. Does not matter. I don't care. Matters that they do something.
We repeat Debbie's show throughout the month. She'll be back again with us the last Monday of the month, 9:00 Eastern time. Your show goes by so fast, Debbie. Hey, have a wonderful Easter. God bless you.
Yeah, you too.
We're so blessed to have you.
Send my best to Sophia. Listen, have you ever shown Sophia a picture of me so she knows that I exist? No, I'm teasing.
You've actually watched many of your shows. Thank you so much. We'll see you next month.
Happy Easter, Rebel. Thank you so long.
Debbie Baker. We're going to go to a quick break. We come back. We've got a great show for you coming up. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.